Hey everybody, it's SkyMoo, and now Sirian has tasked me with making VR spotlights. They're basically indie spotlights, but not necessarily indie and totally VR. With that cleared up, today's topic is the Talos Principle VR. I can't say that without thinking of I can't say his name. Heimskier. I forgot how they said it in the game. And the almighty Talos.
Embrace the word of mighty Talos!
Most of you have probably played or at least heard of the Talos Principle, but I'll give a little overview of it and then get to the VR stuff. The non-VR version of the Talos Principle was released in 2014, developed by Crow Team and published by Devolver Digital. It's a narrative-based puzzle game with some sci-fi elements. You play as a robot, avoiding drones and turrets or jamming them with the portable jammers, all while trying to collect Tetris blocks. Sigils. Gather up enough sigils, and you unlock new areas and more levels. Now, you can do all of that in VR. The puzzles and settings are the same, but Crow Team didn't just port it all over to VR. And no, it's not the VR version they had last year. That was more of a test, or an alpha almost. They put almost as much time into making the VR version work well as they did into making the original game. Realizing that there is no best way to traverse in VR, Crow Team implemented several modes of movement to accommodate different playstyles and preferences. Also added are your player's robot hands. That way, it seems like you're actually picking things up, which helps with immersion. Little details like vines and plants were also added to break up the monotony of the textures. That probably doesn't seem like too big of a deal, but in VR, when everything is so up close, it'll really add to the overall experience and look of everything. You wouldn't want to walk down a street where all the buildings are identical. It would get very dull, very fast. So I really do appreciate Crow Team's attention to detail. The original Talos Principle is a beautiful game already, but in virtual reality, it should look amazing. We'll get to see pretty soon because the Talos Principle VR will be out on October 17th for the HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift. It will be sold separately from the regular game, so if you have the original, just note that this is not an update or an add-on feature. It needs to be purchased separately. Luckily, if you do have the original, you'll get a discount on the VR version, although at the moment, pricing hasn't been revealed. There might be a bundle with the original and VR versions, but don't quote me on that. You better not. The original DLC Road to Gehenna is included, so you'll have many hours of beautiful VR puzzling fun. I hope you like the first VR spotlight. I have to go and find more games to tell you about. Suggestions are always welcome. I'll be back with more soon. Bye!